Here to do a video again talking about things going on in the world around us, and a couple things about this video in particular you may have noticed is first, I am finally shooting in a horizontal format on my phone. I finally figured out if you make your phone go 90 degrees, it makes it horizontal and not the annoying vertical. So, congratulations to me. And also, you may notice that my audio is a little echoey, and I happen to be in my bathroom because my phone ran out of battery, so I'm currently plugged into my outlet here. Um, but jumping right into things, a lot of stuff's been happening, so you may be wondering if I'm ever going to run out of stuff to talk about. And given a Donald Trump inauguration week and a Donald Trump presidency, I don't think that's ever going to happen. This week, I'll be talking about what constitutes fake news, or what even constitutes news for that matter. It's a term that's been talked about a lot lately, and it's a term that's been very loosely used. But definitely fake news has happened this week, and it's been hard to miss because Donald Trump's secretary Sean Spicer used his first press conference to talk about fake news for a good portion of it. In fact, he introduced the press conference by talking about things that were considered to be fake news. To call out exactly what there were, two things. First and foremost, he was talking about how the crowds were portrayed to be much smaller than Obama's. And that happened where there was a news report that showed a picture on one side of Obama's crowd and a picture on another side of Trump's crowd. And you say it's fake news because the Trump's crowd ended up being much larger than the picture that actually was. The picture was a picture of the crowd like hours and hours and hours before the actual inauguration, or maybe even the day before the inauguration. And they were saying that this is Obama's crowd, this is Trump's crowd. And not necessarily true because the wording of it did kind of make sense, but it kind of was fake news because it was misleading. But the one that absolutely was fake news was Time Magazine's Zeke Miller tweeted out that Donald Trump removed the bust of Martin Luther King Jr., and that was absolutely fabricated and false. So Sean Spicer called him out, and Time Magazine's Zeke Miller apologized and said it was his mistake and whatever. But just to jump right into news in general, we're talking about blog articles and we're talking about tweets. It's amazing in this day and age that tweets can be constituted as news. But if you talk about the etymology of news, it's really just information being conveyed. So, yeah, a tweet from someone who works at a magazine or a newspaper could be portrayed as news. But it's hard to go after someone for tweeting misinformation because it's just a tweet. No one is buying that information. However, it's important to note in this day and age that a lot of people, in fact, this next generation, these younglings or young adults who are just graduating from high school, get the vast majority of their news not from news outlets, not from television, not from newspapers, of course, not even from radio. They get it from the internet, and the government is really trying to stop misinformation from coming out of the internet. But realistically, the internet is this gigantic machine that really doesn't have a driver at the helm. And to speak on fake news, it's been going on for a long time. Like I've mentioned in some of my previous videos, the Gulf of Tonkin never happened. It was a radio report where there was a disc jockey, or no, not a disc jockey. There was a reporter on the microphone on national broadcasted radio saying that he's looking at bodies floating in the water in this attack that happened, and it led to the United States entering the Vietnam War, which cost us almost 60,000 lives. Over what? Just American lives, and there were much more people who died in Vietnam over a fake news report. And in of recent times, during Ron Paul's election in 2008 and 2012, they would say, first we have Mitt Romney, and second we have Newt Gingrich, and third we have whoever's in third, they actually would post a blacked out picture. It would say first Mitt Romney, second Newt Gingrich, third place just a silhouette of a person and saying third place X amount of money, and they would ignore the existence of this candidate. And how Donald Trump's being handled, a lot of news media, CNN and MSNBC especially, spent the majority of their time talking about, or not majority, but a vast majority of the discussion talking about just how terrible a person Donald Trump was, and the old adage of any press is good press is absolutely true, and that actually, in the long run, helped him get elected because it got him exposure, it got more people talking about him, it got him more in the public eye, and it really backfired. So just to bring this in, just to get us home on this message here, yeah, fake news exists, and it's hard to tell what it is, especially when you have people from Time Magazine, a very respected publication, just tweeting information out there, and that somehow is being portrayed as news. It's hard to decipher what's real and what's fake, but I can tell you the best service you can do to your country, if you live in the United States, is to have an open discourse with people and to express information logically and have these conversations about things you've learned so that you personally can grow and you can help spread information logically. Because right now, news media, even in CNN, MSNBC, and Fox, is so skewed, it's hard to just know what's true and false. It's important that when you are digesting this media, you're using common sense. And for me, even me, I've made the mistake of posting things that weren't necessarily true on Facebook and Twitter before. I'll take it down if it's false, but from learning from that mistake, I just wait a couple days or at least a day to find out if that what I had posted remains to be true. Anyways, I hope you all do the same. Keep it locked on my channel right here. More videos